And now, a look at the latest innovations in gaming from PlayStation. Please welcome Directors of Product Development from SCEA Ben Studios, John Garvin and Chris Reese.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Watch your step. Yeah. Good morning. I'm John Garvin.
I'm Chris Reese.
And Chris and I are the co-directors at Sony Ben Studio. What we'd like to do today is demo one of the features in our new game for the PSP, Resistance Retribution. It's a feature we're calling Resistance Connect for PlayStation Portable. First, let me give you a brief overview of the game for those that aren't familiar with it. Resistance Retribution is an all-new entry in the Resistance franchise that will be released exclusively on the PlayStation Portable this spring. It's an action third-person shooter that bridges the two PS3 games, Resistance Fall of Man and Resistance 2. We have enemies and character types from both of those games, and we've created all new enemies and characters specifically for the PSP. The story follows our hero, James Grayson, who is a former member of the British Royal Marines, which is the same outfit that Nathan Hale fought with in Resistance Fall of Man. Our game actually starts just a couple of weeks after Fall of Man ends, and the story begins as Grayson is being recruited by the Maquis, which is the French resistance, to take the battle against the Chimera to the European mainland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, in order to help liberate Europe, who had been under Chimeran occupation for a couple of years. So at this point, what I'd like to do is premiere our story trailer for you here at CES. This is our premiere. Can you roll the trailer, please?
The Chimera have wiped out an entire continent. I've been fighting for 2 years, and now this war has taken everything from me.
We got a live one in here!
His brother.
You know the rate. We can't let him live.
When you lose your soul, when you lose your faith.
Where's Lieutenant Grayson?
We don't know, sir. He just went crazy.
When you lose your freedom.
Desertion in time of war is a capital offense. I am here to offer you a defeat.
You want to know about the conversion center?
We are close, Shane. With your help, I can get the materials we need to teach.
The only thing you have left is retribution.
Awesome, thanks. So when we first started development on Retribution, one of the things that we knew we wanted to do was find a way to connect our game to Resistance 2 on the PS3. We wanted to reward players who owned both games. So what we came up with is this concept of Resistance Connect. It's got two important modes. I'm going to go over those very briefly, and then I'll hand it over to Chris for a live demo. The first mode we're calling Infection. This is a mode that if you use a USB cable to connect your PSP to a PS3 while you're playing, while both games are running, you can infect your PSP, and it unlocks a host of new features. The most important ones change up the way the game is played. So, for example, in Retribution, we have a health management system because Grayson is not infected the way Nathan Hale was and is. So by infecting your PSP, you are actually infecting Grayson, and Chris will go into that in more detail in a couple of minutes. The next one we're calling Retribution Plus. And what this does is allow you, again, connecting your PSP to the PS3, it allows you to play the game using the DualShock controller. Now we know that the PSP is a mobile device, but a lot of us kick it at home and actually play different games while we're at home. So we gave the player the ability to use the dual analog, and Chris will be demoing that as well. In fact, let me turn over to you now, Chris.
All right, thanks, John. So now that you know what Resistance Connect is all about, I'm going to take the next few minutes to show how it all works. So if we could switch over to the PS3, it looks like we have. So the setup for this is I've got the PSP 3000 sitting here. It's using the video out to be able to hook up to the screen. And we've also got the PS3 that's also running Resistance 2. So from Resistance 2, it's just a simple matter of going into the Options menu, and you'll find the Connect PSP option. From there, you'll just initiate that, and at that point, R2 is actually waiting for that connection. So you just take the USB cable, which is the same cable that you use to charge your DualShock 3, and plug it into your PSP that's running Retribution. As soon as that connection's established, it'll recognize it and offer up those modes that John was just talking about. So if we could switch over to the PSP. So here we are sitting on the main screen of Retribution, and I'm going to show you what happens when these modes are activated. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to infect the PSP. So we'll do that now. So the connection's established, it's infecting, and once that infection starts, there's going to be a noticeable difference immediately right from the main screen. And, most notably, Grayson has now changed his appearance. He's now wearing a Spectre uniform, and he has the distinctive glowing Chimeran eyes, reflecting the fact that he is indeed infected. So before I jump into the game and show you some of the other features that we've got going on, I'm also going to activate the Plus mode. Okay, so now Retribution Plus has been activated. So at this point, from this point on, I can actually control the PSP and control Retribution from the DualShock controller. So I'm going to jump right into the game and show you how it works in the gameplay situation.
The bone facility with the massive...
While this is loading, John can maybe touch on some of the points regarding how infection affects story elements.
Well, one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to not only affect gameplay, but we wanted to tie the stories as closely together as we possibly could. So we have things, for example, like intel, which you can collect. And when you're in infected mode, there's an entirely new kind of intel called infected intel. And what it allows you to do is, now that you're infected, you have special Chimeran abilities that give you access to unlocked level areas of levels where there are intel that can be collected, etc. You're going to skip this, right?
Okay, so one of the things the game does when it's Plus enabled now is it dynamically alters or modifies the game to take advantage of the DualShock controller, which can be seen simply in the control section. Instead of a PSP controller now, you're actually seeing the PS3 controller, and it's remapped the buttons to take full advantage of the controller, including the rumble support in the DualShock. So I'm going to quickly go into some combat and show you how that's changed up things, using both infected and Plus. So I've got these three zones out here. You'll notice in the lower left corner is my health bar, which is colored to indicate that if I take a couple of shots here, I'll take some damage. Normally I would have to look for some health, but if I take some cover, I can actually regenerate. So one of the things that was brought over from R2 was the HE-44 Magnum. If you played R2, you're familiar with this weapon. When you infect, that weapon's actually brought over, and now you have full access to it in the same way you did in R2. So I'm going to quickly switch over to it and show it how it works. So I can fire off these rounds. These are explosive rounds that can target, and then I can actually set them off with an alt fire to take out multiple enemies at once. So there's more to this, but this concludes our quick demo just to show you what's going on. Let's switch back to the PowerPoint. We are out on the booth, so please go out there, take a look at it, and enjoy the experience. Resistance Connect.
Thanks, Mike.
please welcome Sucker Punch Productions founder and producer Brian Fleming.
I'm going to cross. Yeah. Hey there. Well, thanks a bunch for coming today. My name is Brian Fleming, and I am one of the founders at Sucker Punch and the producer for Infamous. And it's my pleasure to introduce you a little bit to the title today. We'll start you off with a short video, and then we'll show you some live gameplay.